Morning, everybody. It's Sunday, April the 29th of 2018. My email to reach me is rick, R-I-C-K, 0327 at me.com. Okay, if you're reaching out to me, you're reaching out to me because you want to find out how you can receive my paperwork, which is by a gift sent by Western Union, and you will receive every bit of paperwork that I offer, which is quite a bit. So stick around in this video and I'm going to show you what I offer, all the paperwork that I offer. And the backbone of my paperwork is the Constitution. What I did was, there's so many things out there in the YouTube world and on the internet. There are a lot of people out there that carved out a little niche for themselves, using the straw man, the this, the that, UCC, you know, common law, all these little things that, want to show you some type of simplicity to law. There is no most simple thing than the Constitution. And I'll tell you why. Federal judges and state judges are bound by the United States Constitution. Okay? State judges are bound by state constitution. Okay? If you go into court trying to argue this claim to name or this straw man stuff, you're going to get thrown out of court. I'm telling you. Do not waste your time doing that. Okay? You're not going to go in there with something that they've deemed a conspiracy. Okay, yeah, I know all about it, and I agree. I've taken a magnifying glass, and I've looked at the bottom of the dotted line on your paycheck. If you read it, it's not a line; it's an endorsement, and it's part of that straw man thing where your name in capital letters is a dead entity attached to you when you're born and your birth certificate. And I know the whole, trust me, I know all about that. But if you go into court with that whole argument, you're going to have a hard time because no judge is going to cop to it. And you're going to be deemed a conspiracy nut, a constitutionalist, a sovereign, and your fight's going to be over before it began. Okay? People that file my paperwork, they always have a chance. And my paperwork is, when it is dismissed, it's not dismissed for any other reason than we dismiss it with no reason. And that means you could always file an objection, file an appeal, file a writ of mandamus, file a writ of habeas corpus. The fight's never over if they dismiss my paperwork. Okay? So if you go into court using those other arguments, UCC, and all this other stuff, you're probably going to be, dismissed or ignored. So trust me, just stick to what I'm offering. You can't get a better deal than my paperwork. Now I want to show you right here the law of the land. Okay? The general misconception is that any statute passed by legislators bearing the appearance of law, right, constitutes the law of the land. The United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Now pay attention now. Any statute to be valid must be in agreement. There are thousands of state statutes that are not in agreement. Okay, there is a person called a Solicitor General. Each state has them. That person is supposed to make sure that all the laws are constitutional, but they never do. Okay? When I discovered this, I tried to look up Solicitor General, and they're like the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot. They're very hard to find. Okay? And we'll leave that alone. That's something else to look up. If you have nothing better to do, start looking up Solicitor General. Every state has one, and we have one in the United States, and they're supposed to make sure that all the laws are constitutional, but they rarely do. Anyway, to be valid, it is impossible for a law, right? It is impossible for a law which violates the Constitution to be valid. So all of these child support laws that deprive you of your trial by jury, it's illegal. It's unlawful. Okay? This is succinctly stated as following. All laws which are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void. A very famous case. Most of you out there that have done your research, you've heard of Marbury versus Madison. 1803, still being cited, has never been overturned. Okay? And now this goes for laws in the court, procedures by agencies. They all have to be in agreement with the Constitution. Okay? So what we have here is Marbury versus Madison, how it's cited. Okay? The essence of our country is that a law repugnant to the Constitution is void, and that courts as well as other departments are bound by that instrument. 2014 Court of Appeals of Wisconsin. Okay? Still being cited. It's very important. So the gist of all my paperwork is constitutional. So I get questions all the time, Rick, will it work in my state? Yes, it'll work in your state. All right. Let me share a couple of success stories real quick. Andy, his great news service, the child support, started garnishing my checks, or actually check, because they were only getting money from one. I submitted one. So this guy started seizing his money, found my videos, reached out to me, got my paperwork. He submitted my cease and desist. Andy, it's okay. It's cease, C-E-A-S-E, but that doesn't matter. Your check is garnish free, so who the hell cares how you spell it? A letter about a week ago. Come payday Friday, I'm garnish free. My employer accepted your letter and stopped giving money to these crooks. So what I told him to do also is to go file an injunction anyway with the writ of mandamus. You could file an injunction. I added that to my writ of mandamus paperwork. An injunction is like a restraining notice. It's to prevent an action against you. Okay. All right, I got a guy's driver's license back. Ron Boone. Yes, I sent in your restoration driver's license affidavit and a Department of Justice memo to the Supreme Court with, and they granted me a poor person status, gave me a new date, went to court, DMV didn't show up, they gave him his driver's license back. Okay, so my paperwork, I could do a bunch of things. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, I get questions all the time. Rick, what am I getting for the money? Reasonable question. Okay, reasonable question. All right, before you go to court, you're going to file paperwork. Okay, this is the paperwork I offer you. Now, you're not going to file all these papers, but I give you a plan and the instructions of what you should file. All right, so this is all the paperwork you can file before going to court. Not bad, right? That's a lot of paperwork. Affidavits for support orders. There's a bunch of them. Now, a lot of the affidavits I just showed you, they're in here. Okay, this is like all of the affidavits I offer, but I break them down into different folders for you guys. Okay. Right. Writ of habeas corpus affidavits. Okay. Writ of mandamus, writ of certiorari, writ of prohibition. And I I got to do these videos over again because I get a lot of new subscribers. So it's, and it's also good to remind you guys. You forget, like right here, notice of injunction. All right, let me show you what else I got while that's loading up. Okay, I provide you guys with objections affidavits. So you file paperwork. If they dismiss it, immediately you go to the objection folder and you look at all the objections I offer you guys. Okay, I have objections to writ of habeas corpus, objections to writ of mandamus, objection to indigency. I got objection for everything. Okay, it's still loading up. Affidavits to dismiss or vacate support orders by fake judges. Okay, I got that covered. Affidavits to sue judges and fake judges. I got that covered. Affidavits filed for quorum non judice. Most of your orders are quorum non judice. They're issued by persons, not judges. Okay, look at this effing thing. Come on, today, will you? Unbelievable. I don't have it loaded because I didn't know I was going to show it to you guys, but whenever I do videos, things always slow down. It's coming up. Hold on. And here it is. Nice and slow. See? Nice and slow. That's the way you do it. Here we go. Sorry about that. I still have more affidavits to show you anyway, so I just want to... Okay, hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Hang in there. Hang in there, I'm still here. Alright, let me just move on. It'll show up eventually. Driver's license suspension affidavits I offer for people with their license suspended. Here we go. Effing believable. Petition for injunction is required to protect the property of the undersigned petitioner from being seized or deprived by an administrative income withholding order that is in violation of due process. Now, the way the courts are supposed to work is you present them with an injury. An injury is your property is being taken from your paycheck. The only way your property can be seized or deprived is by a judgment by peers or by a warrant. Okay? So, obviously, we don't have that if we have a wage garnishment order. Okay? A wage garnishment income withholding order is issued by a child support agency. Okay? It's one of those laws that we're talking about in Marbury versus Madison. It looks legal, but it's not. Okay, every state, I did the last video showing you guys the state constitution, how every state has a trial by jury that must be inviolate, and I also showed you guys that every state has a search and seizure, meaning that you cannot have your property seized unless by a warrant. Well, a child support income withholding order is not even close to being legal. So I created this, all right? Can you imagine if I tried to show you guys all my affidavits with the way my freaking computer's acting up right now? It only happens when I do videos, by the way. Here are the instructions. People ask me, Rick, do they come with instructions? Oh, yeah, I got instructions. I do that to prevent people from emailing me all the time asking me questions. All right, and validation of debt. All right, so I just gave you guys a breakdown of all the affidavits that I offer. Okay, I just showed you guys a success story. I also had another guy, I just can't find it right now. Another guy got his the arrears vacated and the child support dismissed. I just can't find it. Hopefully, I'll find it. Um, and that's about it. I just wanted to show you guys that this is the crux of every argument. If you're in court and you object and you tell them that the law, that the Constitution, that they give you the old Constitution doesn't count in court, you have to act as incredulous as possible. You're going to say, wait a second, hold on a second. Are you telling me that the Constitution does not work in this room and you're claiming to be a judge or someone acting like a judge? Is that what you're telling me? Are you saying that in front of all these people in here right now? You really are that brave to say that the Constitution doesn't count? Because it really is a crazy statement. Every judge is sworn, they raise their right hand. It looks like it's my left hand, but it's my right hand I'm holding up. And they swear an oath to the to the United States Constitution and their state constitution. That's it. So when they give you the oath that doesn't count here, they're conning you. Because they're scared of you. Because you figured out that what they're doing is unconstitutional. And now they're trying to shoo you away. And they can. If you let them. Only if you let them. But, I don't want you getting arrested either. But you've got to say, they give you you're in contempt. Say, well, with all due respect, I believe you're acting in contempt because I know that you're sworn to the oath of the Constitution. To swear, to uphold, and defend the Constitution. And now you're telling me it doesn't count? And then you could say, well, Marbury versus Madison, any statutes made that it's not in agreement to the Constitution is void and repugnant. How many times have I told you guys that? Any statute that goes against the Constitution, it's void. Now I gave you the case law. Okay? Marbury versus Madison. They all know it. Everybody knows it. Okay? So, I just wanted to show you guys that. I showed you all the paperwork you're going to get. All right? So, I'm going to shut the video down. And I hope to hear from you guys. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Okay? The email is Rick, RICK, 0327, if you're interested in receiving all my paperwork. And I provide all the paperwork. All right? And I'll talk to you guys later.